Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So today we're closing out our Hunters deck profile. This is going to be going over the yellow-green Quartzmon Turbo build. This is one of two Hunters builds, vastly different, but very similar. Their end goals are very different from one another, I would say, but their beginnings are very similar and their playstyles are very similar. I do think that personally, I don't know, it's hard to say. I was leaning towards the red-black build, but now, I don't know, Quartzmon is such a strong card. Now I'm leaning back into the yellow-green. So it's definitely a playstyle preference on which one you think is better and which one you prefer. Don't forget, our April memory marker is Digimon. If you're a big purple player, this is going to be a must-have include in your repertoire. This is handmade out of clay, hand-painted as well, all by my wife, Digimon. Really, really great-looking memory marker there. It's got the flames there. It's got the invisible flight stand stick over a bed of cracking molten lava there. Really, really perfect, great memory marker for all the purple players out there. Big fan of this one for sure. This is only going to be available for Patreon for a few more days. It's till the end of April, which is, through the weekend, and that's going to be it. Then we're going to be starting a new memory marker on Monday. So if you want to pick one of these up on our Patreon, definitely do that soon. But also, if you want to check out any of our older memory markers that we featured on our channel, check out my wife's Etsy page, link in the description below. There you can find some of the older memory markers that we've had on the channel, as well as some updated versions of them as well. Also, if you're interested in ordering cards online, I suggest checking out cardtrader.com. They actually are an incredible site for ordering cards online, similar to TCG Player, but these guys cut down on your shipping cost. What they do is they gather all the cards from across the globe with whatever language you're looking for. They'll gather all of the cards you're wanting in their warehouse, and then you only pay for a single shipping cost to get all the cards that you're wanting, so shipped to you. And whether that's singles or sealed product doesn't matter. And then also, if you use my affiliate link in the description below there, you can actually get a free $2 to spend on anything you want just for signing up. And just for signing up, it helps support me on the channel as well, as whether you're ordering something or just signing up in general, I get a kickback, so it helps support the channel without even having to donate anything. So if you want to help support the channel, just go sign up for an account on cardtrader.com and check it out. I do think that getting all my shipping all under one single cost is really great, because that's one thing I do not like about tcgplayer.com is the fact that I have to pay for all these different shipping things. Even if it's for like a $2 card, I have to pay $1 shipping, or buying a 50-cent card and paying $1 for shipping always feels so bad. So here they'll just gather up all the cards in one place and then ship them to me for one cost. I am a big fan of cardtrader.com. So yeah, definitely go check them out. Please support the channel. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this deck profile. I got the whole thing pulled up for you guys so you can follow along with us as we go. Now, you might notice if you saw our red-black build that this one is very, very similar, but also unique in its own way. And if you're not familiar why you have to run a yellow-green and a black-red version, but your purples can cross over, that's because of your level 4s here. For this build, we've got Opossum here, as well as Astamon, and they have the on play. When Digivolve, you can play a Iru. Wow, I can't speak anymore. Ren or Ryoma from your hand, and then the yellow one is the same thing, but you're going to reveal the top 3 and then play it. And that's going to be these 3 tamers right here, whereas the black-red ones are going to be Tagiru, Taiki, and Yu. So they're locked into specific tamers that you get to play for free, so that there's not as much crossover of the tamers. Something like Cross Heart, right, where you can run a whole plethora of different tamers and they all work. These are very name-specific ones this time around. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're going to be building. You're going to want to kind of keep that, together. Also, Astamon here, you can run it in the other build, but keep in mind it only evolves from 3 on purple level 4s. It can evolve for 5 from a Psychmon, which is going to be in both builds, but that's a very limited amount that you can evo on top of, or 3 from yellow, green, or purple level 4 with save in its text. So that's the big part, is it only evos on top of yellow, green, and purple. So in the black-red build, you're very, very limited on what cards you can evo Astamon onto. And Astamon is going to be your big ticket to get into Quartzmon. So if you're running to, if Quartzmon is your big end-all be-all goal for your deck, I definitely recommend going with a yellow-green build so you can run more Astamon. In the black-red, you can run Astamon, but usually it's in like 1, maybe 2 copies, and that's it. So that's going to be the overall big difference between the decks and their kind of play style. But we're going to go ahead and do the card by card and kind of just talk through what your overall goal of the deck is. First up, we have the Monimon here, the on deletion. If it has save in its text, in its card text, draw 1. And what it means by that is anything in the card text on the Digimon. So Ikakimon Digivolve 0 from a level 2 contains save. This right here, that's all you need. So you can Digivolve this guy on Monimon and then on deletion draw a card because you have save in the text. You don't have this. You don't have to have the save ability. You just need save in the text somewhere. So then this right here, this black box, that covers it for you. That checks the box. It has save in the text. Now we get Monimon's ability. You don't use the Pikmon, which we're used to using with save mechanic, because Pikmon only works with Crossheart, and yeah, there's not any Crossheart. It's very limited in what has Crossheart out of this new stuff that has save. The Hunter stuff is not a Crossheart deck. Very similar mechanics. We're doing a lot of saving and Tamer shenanigans, but it's not actually a Crossheart deck. Similar to like how Blue Flare isn't necessarily Crossheart, but some are. It's kind of like that. So first up for our rookie, we got Drakmon here. He is your unbricker. Yes, we have Mulligan in the game now, but throughout the game, you get multiple Tamers, and unlike Crossheart, you really only ever need 1 of each color on the field, and you kind of can call it good there. You don't necessarily need multiples. Could you use multiples if something got hit in security? Sure, you could have some situations where multiples could come up. But this guy's going to help you get other cards. So you can on play, reveal up to 3 Tamer cards in your hand, place them at the bottom of your deck, and then draw 1 for each one you did. Has save. He also has Digicross -2. 1 Digimon with save in its card text. Again, anything with save. It's not like specific or anything like that. So 2 play cost to put 3 Tamers back under your deck and then draw 3 new ones. Really good card. It literally came up at locals tonight that one of our players needed it. Literally went Drakmon for 2, put 3 Tamers back, drew into the Arrestadramon, evoed for free because that's what the level 4 is basically doing this deck, and it had rush and rush for game. So very powerful stuff to get you those in-game, like, I need this 1 card clutch moments. Next we got Ikakimon. He's definitely an interesting one. If you're like an Arrestadramon Turbo deck, he's kind of awkward because he's a 3 play cost, but he's such a good tech card that when attacking once per turn, if this Digimon has save in its card text, one of your opponent's Digimon gets -2k for the turn. That's really like pretty solid. And just FYI, so you're aware, whatever the color Digimon it is, they all have the same inheritable. So this Drakmon has a +2k for save. This Yazimon has the same exact inheritable. Our yellows are the exact same. So we got Ikakimon -2k, and this Opossumon is also when attacking -2k. And all of our purple ones are the same as well. When attacking, if you have save, you're going to draw 1. So you can really stack up these -2k abilities. Ikakimon with the red build, with the red engine is nice because you can -2k and then use like a Shoutmon to pop a 4k or less, which is a nice little interaction. But the Opossumon also isn't bad though, because you can stack multiples underneath something and get a bigger and bigger minus, and then swing over it whatever you want to, or kill multiple rookies. It's just a solid tech card to have in here. It's just something else to kind of help round out the list. For our main rookies here, we've got our purple engines, and those are going to be the big ones here. So we got Gumdramon. They can all Digivolve on top of Monimon because it's anything with save, and Monimon has save in its text. So just keep that in mind. Digivolve any of these guys on top of Monimon. On play, by placing one card with save in its card text from your hand under one of your tamers, draw one. So it's specifically one Digimon with save, so you can't put like a tamer under a tamer. But it's still not a bad little one. Play for 2, because it's got Digicross for -2 as well, anything with save. So play this for 2, draw a card. So you place something with save underneath the tamer and you're going to draw a card. Pretty solid. It's very similar to how Taiki works for the red one. You put a source underneath him, you draw another card. And then on deletion, save. So on deletion, save, I think, is on the Drakmon as well. I just kind of glossed over it. Yep, it is. The yellow one does not, though. So just keep that in mind. He's very much something you just want to use as a source. Evo on top of him as soon as possible. Psychmon here, similar to the Gumdramon, but his on play, the only difference is his on play here, you may add one Digimon card with save in its text under one of your tamers to your hand, which is really good. It really helps to cycle back your level 4. So hard play the Psychmon for 2 because of your Digicross, and then add one of your level 4s back to hand, maybe a level 5 back to hand that you've already used or it got saved somehow. But yeah, good way to recycle and reuse abilities. Now getting into our level 4s here, this is what really makes the deck its own versus the red-yellow. We have the Astamon here. So on play or when digivolving, it can digicross for -2, anything with save. So 3 play cost, level 4. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Play one Iru, Ren, or Ryoma among them without paying their memory cost. On deletion, save. Then place one card with save in its card text from your trash under one of your tamers. So I see a lot of people kind of not realizing how powerful that second part is. So save the Astamon and then trash all your sources. Then pick up your entire trash and go through your whole trash and find something else with save to put underneath a tamer. It doesn't have to be just the inheritables from the Astamon. It doesn't have to be just the things in trash before his sources go there. It's his sources go there first, and then you go through the whole trash. And that's the case for all your level 4s here. The Yazimon, same thing with the on deletion save, then place one with save in your trash. Digicross -2, so 3 play cost. But his is on play or when digivolving, you may play one Iru, Ren, or Ryoma from your hand without paying its memory cost. So this is the one I like to go to for the most part. Is if I'm trying to get tamers in play, I prefer the Yazimon just because I like the guaranteed rather than the Astamon. Reveal 3, maybe whiff. If I have the tamer in hand already, then absolutely Yazimon is the one I'm want to go with. Now, the big powerhouse of Hunter's decks comes with this next little bit here, Arashidramon as well as Arashidramon Superior Mode. These guys are super good. This is when you start to really put in the damage on your opponent. So Digivolve for 2 from a level 3 with save in its text, the same with the other guys. He has no on-play effect, but his when digivolving is if this Digimon has 2 or more Digivolution cards, it gains Rush, which in this deck is pretty much always a given. So getting that Rush is super huge because you're playing out your Drakmons, your Gumdramons, your Psychmons. You're playing those out for 2. And then with the Hunter's deck, the idea is to Evo into the level 4s for 0 memory because of the tamers and how the tamer effects work. You're digivolving for 0 and then gaining Rush so you can immediately attack with this Arashidramon. And then on deletion has the same save. So save, then place one of your opponent's or one of your Digimon from your trash with save in its text under one of your tamers. And the same inheritable, he's a purple. When you attack, you're going to draw one. So he's going to have you start putting in damage in the deck. We also have a generic level 4 in the form of Quartzmon, 4 play cost, blocker. It's like the only defense you have in the deck is going to be with this guy. The red-black build, the black inheritables give blocker, so that one can have some good defensive abilities, whereas this one is it's either Quartzmon or you get into Quartzmon as soon as possible. But on play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add up to 2 Digimon with save in their card text among them to your hand. Place the rest of the bottom of the deck in any order. And then on deletion, save. And this gives jamming. So this is a really powerful one to put underneath your big attackers. So your Arashidramon and your Arashidramon Superior Mode, those ones putting in a lot of damage with low DP. Quartzmon. And you'll see, you'll notice that my list is very... I don't want to say lean, but it's lean, right? I'm not running a whole bunch of like one-off techs of this and this and this. I mean, the same premise was used in the deck that I got my Nats invite with. Is I don't want a whole lot of fluff. I want maximum copies to ensure I see the pieces I need to do the fundamental things that the deck does. Okay, so just max out pretty much on everything. Minimum 3 copies as much as possible. The exceptions are the Drachmon and the Ikakimon, because they are not overall fundamental for our main strategy like these other guys is. If it's at 4, that's very much so. The Tamers, you just need to see 1 copy of each of them and you're good. So we run them at 3 ofs. And if we get extras, we can use stuff like the Drachmon to send them back. So there's, other uses for them if we get multiples. The only one that's like the flex spot, I would say, is the Ikakimon in this deck. So yeah, we're going to max out on the Clockmon. I think Clockmon is super good, very underrated. That jamming, literally the Hunters deck, both of them, like they do a lot of damage with Digimon and Digimon Superior Mode, and their DP is super low. So getting this jamming from Clockmon like ASAP is so important. And so many decks are just like, yeah, 2 Clockmon. I'm like, okay, well, you're not going to be doing a whole lot with only 2 Clockmon. Unless your only goal is to get into Quartzmon, then sure. But if that's the case, then you probably don't even need to run the Digimon package. When in that case, it's not really much of a Hunter's deck at that point. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the Superior Mode right quick, though. So Digivolve for 4 from red, black, or purple, level 4 card in its tech contains save. So same with that we were talking about before with the Astamon, where he can only go on top of the purple, yellow, and green. The Superior Mode can only go on top of red, black, and purple. But that's okay, because you really want to go on top of your Digimon anyways. And we're going to cut down on our copies of Superior Mode. That's why we're only running the 3 copies of Superior Mode, because he's limited on what he can Digivolve on top of. But when Digivolving, place one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon under one of your opponent's other Digimon as its bottom Digivolution card, or under one of their Tamers. For each Tamer you have in play, with a different color, increase the maximum level this effect can choose by 1. So if you get all 4 different colors of your Tamers, like I said, you only need 1 copy of each on the field, and you get all your effects. At that point, you can stack something that's level 7 underneath something. So really powerful removal here. Putting it underneath a Tamer dodges so many like on deletion effects and things like that. On deletion, bounce to hand, bounce to deck, all that stuff. He dodges. He gets around that. So really, really strong when Digivolve effect. And then end of your turn, once per turn, if the Digimon has 4 or more Digivolution cards, this Digimon can attack without suspending. I think some people are getting this wrong as well. It doesn't have to be suspended already. It doesn't have to be unsuspended. It doesn't matter if it's unsuspended or suspended. At the end of your turn, you can attack with it, okay? So you attack with your Digimon, Evo this guy to pass turn, he hits again, okay? Say you have a blocker underneath in certain builds. You can Digivolve him on top of an unsuspended Digimon to pass turn. You still get to attack without suspending, and you get to keep yourself unsuspended, so that way your blocker is still alive. So yeah, very, very versatile, useful card here. Just remember, he's only able to Digivolve on top of the Digimon, and then same inheritable as all the other purples. So 3 in here, but only for 4 targets, you might say. But that's okay, because we can cycle back our level 4s so much, like Psychmon, right, it was Psychmon, I'm not losing my mind. Yeah, you can add back from the Psychmon. So if your Digimon dies, you can play a Psychmon, add it back to hand, and so that your way you can bring your Superior Modes back online. Okay, and that's going to be a big, like, juicy part of damage right there. Swing with a Digimon, Evo into Superior Mode to pass turn, smack them again with Superior Mode. If you saw the feature match, you saw that literally how they won the game. Next, also with the combination of Old Clock Shop Man, or Watchmaker as he's called in the US, or in the English format I should say, giving security attack +1, that's 2 hits with the Digimon, and then 2 more hits with Superior Mode, that's 4 checks. That's why jamming is important. You're checking that much security with 1 Digimon with 5k and 10k, yeah, you're gonna need some jamming. All right, now let's get back to the real end goal of the yellow-green build specifically. Digivolve for 3 on top of a purple level 4. Okay, so our Reshidramon here. Or Digivolve from 5 from Psychmon. Not the best, but, you know, we have 4 copies. It could come up. Or 3 from a yellow-green or purple level 4 with saving its text. So any of our level 4s, Astamon can Digivolve on top of for only 3 costs, so standard cost for a level 5. Then when Digivolving, you may play one level 4 or lower Digimon card with save in its description from the bottom of one of your tamers without playing its memory cost. So, and if they have an on-play effect, you know, you get that on-play effect, which is really powerful. Getting to play out any of this stuff here is going to be super good for you. However, if this card has 4 or more Digivolution cards, this Digimon may Digivolve into a Quartzmon in your hand or under your tamers, reducing the Digivolution cost by 3 instead. And the same inheritable here as all of our other purples. So Digivolve into a Quartzmon for 3 less. Now Digivolve, don't worry about these numbers. These 6s here don't matter. You're never going to Digivolve on top of a Mega in this build of Quartzmon. It's this Digivolve for 9 from level 5 if the text contains save. So you're going to turn this 9 into a 6 Evo cost with the Astamon ability. You could just Digivolve for 9 normally as well on top of your level 5s. But really you want to try to use the Astamon a little bit. Because also when Digivolving, suspend all Digimon except this, and suspend all tamers. Then gain 1 memory for every 2 suspended Digimon and or tamers in play. So yours and your opponent's all added up, and then 2 back. So if you're evolving for 6, then you're going to gain probably roughly 3 back on average. I've noticed so far with a lot of the Quartzmon plays, you typically gain about 3 memory back. So that's really solid. You're going to gain a decent amount back. So Evo for 9, gain 3 more. So essentially it becomes like a 3 Evo cost with the Quartzmon. All turns, all Digimon except this one, and all tamers can't unsuspend. So lock down everybody. Quartzmon's the only one doing anything at this point. And then when attacking, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon or tamers. Then for every 5 suspended Digimon and or tamers in play, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. I've seen this thing pretty consistently trashing 2 things. A lot of the times, trashing 2 security. So swing, trash 2. If your opponent doesn't have anything left, you just win the game. This is a great in-game piece. You're going to use your Reshidramon and your superior modes to get that early chip damage in, and then you're going to finish the game with Quartzmon. So get, 1, 2, maybe 3 checks with like a rookie, and then you're going to go into Quartzmon mid-game and just immediately win. So that's kind of the idea of the deck there. Now, if you're not familiar with tamers, we'll go ahead and jump into them. We got Ren first. Start of your main phase by placing 1 Digimon card with save in its text from your hand under this tamer. One of your Digimon gains plus 2k for the turn. Start of main phase. So that's after you hatch or after you promote. Keep that in mind. It's not start of turn, start of main phase, which is different. So especially because with him, you're going to promote up a Digimon. You might want to give that Digimon the 2k. Not the most powerful of all the hunters tamers we have. Probably, honestly, the weakest out of all of them is poor Ren here. But then the main thing is all of our tamers, except for the Watchmaker, have this ability of your turn when one of your Digimon would Digivolve into a Digimon with save in its card text by suspending this tamer and placing 1 card from under your tamers at the bottom of that Digimon's Digivolution cards, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. So that's why I'm talking about how you're making your level 4's 0 Evo cost is because of all your tamers. You're going to suspend a tamer, put a source underneath. Suspend another tamer, put a source underneath. So for every one you do, you reduce that Evo cost. And it says from any of your tamers. So you can say Ren has 5 inheritables and you have 2 other tamers that have none. You can still suspend those tamers and the Ren. So suspend all 3 tamers and then use all of Ren's sources to put underneath a Digimon. It doesn't have to be under this one specifically. It can be under any tamer. And we also have the arrow here. Start of your main phase. Place 1 Digimon card with save in its text under this from your hand under this tamer. One of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2k. So again, these very much fit the theme of their colors. Green gives a 2k DP buff. Yellow gives a minus 2k 8k DP buff to one of your opponent's Digimon. So very on brand here. I like the Aru. I think she's pretty cool. Not a problem at all running her. The Ren's kind of a little lackluster. The Ryoma here, though, the Ryoma is the purple tamer for this deck, whereas the purple tamer in the black-red is a memory fixer in the form of Tagiru, which I think is really good. That's kind of what makes, in my opinion, the red-black build a little bit better, because you have a memory fixer, and two, you have you have Yu, who gains you another memory. So you can start your turn at 4 memory pretty much all the time, whereas this deck does not have anything like that. But Ryoma is still pretty cool. Start of your main phase. If there are 2 or less cards under this tamer, you may place 1 Digimon card to save and its card text from your trash under this tamer. And then the same Evo cost. My only issue with Ryoma, like I see some people are like, oh yeah, run Ryoma. So anything that gets checked in security, you can just add it underneath Ryoma and use it back. Like your Quartzmon. You don't want to lose your Quartzmons to the trash. My thing is, all the level 4s, they're on deletion saves. I can just grab whatever it was that got checked in security, or might have gotten milled somehow, some way from my deck. If it ended up in trash, I can just use my level 4s to get it back. If it ended up under my tamers, I can use Psychmon to get it back. You know, it's like I can already recycle those things. Ryoma doesn't feel all that necessary, but the thing is, you get a player for free off of your red or your yellow and green. So that's why she's in here. So she is another, a different color. You got to run some sort of different color. I would love to run the Tagiru in here instead of Ryoma, but I can't play Tagiru for free like I can Ryoma. So that's why we're running the Ryoma instead. And the very final card in the deck is the Watchmaker, who is a 3 play cost. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon with save in its text, and 1 Hunter, so one of your tamers, and then place the rest of the bottom of the deck in any order. And then if you have 4 or more tamers in play, by suspending, and they have to be different colors, it doesn't say that here, 4 or more tamers in play with different colors, by suspending this tamer, one of your Digimon with save in its text gains security attack +1 for the turn. So great searcher, as well as giving security attack +1. Watchmaker, very, very powerful card. You're going to see it in like every build. Some people are even running 4 of it. I don't really have the space here because I still need to be able to put damage in. He is a solid consistency card. So yeah, a big fan of Watchmaker. He's great in both Hunters decks. And that is the total of the deck. It's solid. Quartzmon is an incredibly powerful piece. Astamon is the only, using Astamon to turbo into Quartzmon is really nice. It's like the best way to get into Quartzmon for most decks, and to be able to play the Astamon at max power or at max quantities of 4 of, you'd need to be running him in the yellow-green build, so that way he can digivolve on top of these and not just on top of a purple, which is why in the yellow-black or in the black-red build we run so few Astamon, but in this one we can run so many. I don't think that the yellow-green are as powerful as the red and black build, but again, that's the only way we can run the Astamon consistently and getting into the Quartzmon as fast as possible. So that's going to be the big debate about which one you're going to want to run. Is if you can rely on just the superior mode and the regular Digimon to get all your damage in, that's great. And then going into Quartzmon, like even for 9, if you really need to, or if you can go just run like 1 or 2 Astamon techs to get into your Quartzmon, just as that like barrier of, okay, I can't win just yet, let me just hold off my opponent until next turn and then I can win. You know, Quartzmon's great for that, but in this build he's very much like the main goal, I would say, is to get into Quartzmon. But you need to build up a board pretty quickly of tamers, which can be a struggle depending on the deck you're playing against. If you play against Black War Greymon X or War Greymon, you're going to hit in, or they're going to play a Hades Force on you and you're just going to cry. I don't know what else to say about that one. If you hit it, if you play those matchups and they have the Hades Force, it's going to be a rough time. I don't think Hunters is like this big end-all meta call or anything like that. It's a cool deck. It's powerful, but it's not going to be the deck that's going to like win you the regionals or win you the nationals. I would love for that to happen. I'd love to be proved wrong if that happens. Sure, I will eat my own words. I don't mind. It's just, to me, it doesn't feel like it's got that kind of power to it that it needs to keep up with some of these speedy decks or control the board well enough for that. Because, you know, Beelzemon's just going to promote up out of raising area with their Impmon that warps into Beelzemon and then go into Beelzemon X and trash all your security, and then they just win immediately because you can't stop it. You don't have any blockers in this deck besides Clockmon, which is going to be hard to get Clockmon in play and a Quartzmon at the same time. So it's going to be really, really tricky. But that will do it for the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like the video. And if you're not already and you've watched this whole thing and you're not a subscriber yet, please subscribe. And also, as always, check out cardtrader.com. Go ahead and enroll in that. Give yourself a free $2, as well as give me a free $1. Support the channel and support yourself at the same time. It's really cool. So go sign up for cardtrader.com.